Yeah, I actually wanted to watch this video. Next, we'll just pop right into it. It's from Putchuon. I don't know how to pronounce this person's name here.
You probably have no idea.
But it's called TikTok's most hated black creator, Aunt Karen. The only one question I do have with the... Oh, my name Papa Guts in here. And make Nicki Minaj. Nice. The only question I have here is, like, I hope... I know this sounds weird, but I kind of hope that the content creator making this video is black. Because that would be really weird for a white person to be like, the most hated black content creator, Aunt Karen. Because that sounds like a little dog whistly. But if it's a black dude, maybe he's just speaking on his own community or whatever. I just hope that he's black. That's all I'm saying, dude. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just saying it would come off as a little bit of racist if it was a white guy making this video. You know what I mean? Because it might be though. We'll see. Okay, let's see.
Aunt Karen is the perpetuator.
It's Curly. What was that word, Curly? My brother in Christ?
Aunt Karen is the perpetuator of...
Perpetuator. Sorry, it's perpetuator. But I love you, Curly. I'm just busting chops.
Of most racism on this app. I would go as far to say that Aunt Karen is the most racist person on this app.
And she's married to a white guy. Ew. Right, guys?
Unkaren Zero.
What I will say, though, it's a little weird. Like, I've noticed that the most, like, racist or prejudiced people of color on TikTok are all married to white people. Or they date white people, like Modern Warrior messing around with those white girls, and Karen married to a white dude. Why? Is it like an overcompensation? Like, you got to hate that part of you that just doesn't see color, that's colorblind? You know, you're just like, I hate that part. I hate my white husband. You know what I mean? I don't know. I have no right to correct people on their pronunciation. You're probably right, because I can barely pronounce things sometimes. Got a good point. I appreciate that.
Is by far the most hated black content creator on TikTok. But
he does sound like he might be black. Sorry, I'm not trying to be racist. Okay, let's move.
But who is she? Well, she's a self-proclaimed otaku and social justice warrior that
See, he said otaku. He has to be black because black people love anime for some reason. I don't really understand it, but they like it a lot. I don't know why, even though there's barely any black characters. So... Isn't that crazy?
Amassed almost 2 million followers on TikTok with the sole purpose of exposing racism, homophobia, and anything she personally deems as offensive to minority sensibilities. Now, I use the term exposing loosely because
he ain't bad looking here, though.
Deems as offensive to minority sensibilities. Now, I use the term...
Listen, she looks kind of good here. All right. I'm a little bit of an armpit guy, you know. I like body parts, you know. Okay, you know, whatever. Okay. Sorry, I should probably stop doing this to Thurston there.
Exposing loosely, because some of her detractors preferred the more malignant term of doxing.
Like, at the very least,
that's me.
Modern Warrior doesn't do this, like, insane doxing shit. Like, you want to have a petty fight with a kid online, be my guest. But, like, Aunt Karen goes to the next level, found this kid's, like, address and fucking phone number, and called his dad. Also,
that shit was fucking weird.
She called my father and recorded the convo to get him to say things about me to make me...
What are you talking about? You're saying black people don't enjoy anime? I'm saying black people only enjoy anime. Like 50% of the anime audience is black. What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying.
Look bad. My parents have to delete all their socials. My entire family is getting harassed. They left the house because they're scared we are going to get swatted. So apparently she even has like their information because they left the fucking house. That's how afraid of her they are.
You see, Unkaren's primary method of...
True. People on TikTok love to use their power to attack people. You know, I saw like this little thing. I saw it really quickly. I didn't really read too much into it, but somebody was like, TikTok cancellations for people on the internet is like the new gladiator rings. Like, this is just a new way we like to enact violence. And I've been saying stuff like that for a long time. People love to be violent. They just love to feel justified in their violence. Back in the day when it was gladiators, it's just slaves fighting each other, you know? Now, it's like, oh, well, they did a bad thing, you know? Even though we've all done bad things, right? Like, none of us deserve to not exist anymore. I feel like part of it comes from, like, our bloodthirsty nature, and part of it also comes from the fact that, like, we think that people who get famous on the internet just, like... We hold them to like weird standards. Like, I understand the conversation around like, hey, you should monitor what you're saying, but we hold them to the standard where like they can't be human and like make mistakes sometimes. You know what I mean? Isn't it crazy? Bad analogy? Why? Why was that a bad analogy? It's just like a gladiator ring. What are you talking about? Like, that's how it is. It's like everybody just feels like it's somebody who deserves it.
Of attack when she is made aware of a
no, nobody's dying on TikTok. You're right, but I mean, like, they try to ruin your career, and it's not just people who are famous though. It is also people who are like not famous. They just want to dox them and like get them to have their jobs ruined because they made a mistake. You know,
particular offensive act is to find.
You get my point, okay?
Find out who you are, your full.
Oh, the slaves thing. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that. My bad.
Government name, and most importantly, the name of your employer.
True.
To which an army of social justice warriors will be released upon you with the fury of 1,000 demons.
True.
They contact your employer relentlessly.
Yeah, how are you gonna go after Max Taylor lifts?
Imploring them to fire you. And
True.
Of course, in today's woke culture, they do.
I don't see it as a reason to take away my job, let alone taking away my job by calling me a white supremacist.
So now this one person has the unchecked power to ruin lives with little to no thought on the true ramifications of her actions. Instead, she chalks it up like it's another day at the office with her poignant catchphrase.
The devil works hard. The devil works hard. The devil works hard. But we work harder.
But
I've never heard that before. Because I don't watch a lot of her content. I never like heard her say that before, but it clearly is a catchphrase. And the fact that they've said it like 16 times. What the fuck?
the hate she received from conservative white people never truly bothered on Karen. Because you see, it was their hate.
I will say one thing with the JS situation. I'm just gonna say, listen, JS said the no word. Well, she didn't just say that. She didn't call someone the N word. She called the guy an N word lover. Arguably worse. It's not that you're calling somebody that word. It's like you love those dirty. You know, that's what. But the biggest issue that I had with it, only Jace, is she promised black content creators that part of her journey to be less racist or whatever was I will platform a black content creator. I'll platform a black content creator on my page. And Aunt Karen said that she would do it, and Jace agreed to let Aunt Karen did it, and then Jace ignored Karen for like a month and never posted it, and then tried to be like, I meant on my other show. I had a show on Spotify, but that got taken away because I lost everything because she lost sponsorships in her show and stuff. And it's like that, you know. Karen was right there. Karen was correct about the Jace part. I'm just saying, dude. You know, if you're going to promise people that you're going to give them a platform to speak about anti-racism, like black people a platform to speak about anti-racism after you say the poggers N-word, the not poggers N-word, right? But the gaming community thinks it's poggers. It was like an inside meta joke. So that's me making a joke about the gaming community being a little racist. But anyway, whatever. You should have held to that standard. I'm just saying.
Real white people never truly bothered on Karen, because you see, it was their hate that got her to where she is.
True.
But now she's facing a bigger problem. She's being hated by the very people she claims to advocate for.
What? Wait, Nicki Minaj? Nicki Minaj, the queen? Nicki Minaj spoke against Aunt Karen? Are you fucking serious?
You've taken the Karen in your name a little too seriously.
I thought it was Nicki Minaj.
You've taken it a little too seriously, because what type of entitled nonsense is this?
Recently, I have been disappointed in so many social justice platforms and people, because I think social media has gotten to them. Accounts that I used to love so deeply or learn or go on to be educated from have now become almost the oppressor.
Listen, it's one of those things. Well, I'll tell you right now, because I've been there too, and I know that I'm running a little defense for Aunt Karen, but I'm just trying to be accurate. It's that this thing happens where you grow because you're making solid content you care about that's decent, and you get to a point where your content, you just got nothing else to talk about, and you got to create it. This is the worst part about doing commentary on drama or controversial situations, is once the controversial situation disappears, you, without realizing it, feel the need to create more controversial situations. You know? So I've done this on TikTok. I'm not proud of it at all. And I didn't even realize it until I was done. You know what you're doing, but you don't know what you're doing. Is it called the horseshoe effect? I don't know if that's the horseshoe effect, but you like, this is something like Drew Afuelo has done. Like, she calls out some toxic guys. She's still annoying anyway, but there's times where she'll call out toxic guys, but then there's times where she called out some kid because he made a joke about how his girlfriend, he signed his girlfriend up for the draft because she loves fighting. And she's like, "You're a misogynist. Look at your nipples." It's like, what the fuck? And that's what happens. And then you start like, your standard for what is a bad thing goes down more and more and more. It starts with somebody being like legitimately racist to somebody and then calling them out, which makes sense. And then it goes down to like, well, this guy farted on a dog on accident. And all of a sudden, like, they're the worst person in the world, And that's why, like, that's why you got to, I talk, that's why, like, I've been talking about controversial topics, but I don't make it like my platform for the day, and if it's, sometime we'll come on and we'll watch videos. And if there's a controversial situation going on, we could talk about that. But I don't look for it anymore. Yeah. The Trisha Paytas effect. That's a good way to put it. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's high time that we start to recognize her as the white woman she truly aspires to be. She obviously doesn't care to create...
That's an insult, huh? White woman she aspires to be.
A stronger bond of sisterhood with many other black women from different nations. That is something she clearly does not care about. But if it had been a white woman who was offended by the term of third world country...
I know what we're referring to.
How do you think that would have went?
You said in that video that you would expect this to happen in a third world country.
What video were we referring to? I wish I could see the video that she was talking about.
What that means?
Let's see if I can find
I don't know. I don't even think you know. Because you've never lived in a country that is labeled a third world country. That operates off of mob justice. Your activism is not actually directed to people who look like you, who are from...
What was the TikTok that she made that made it seem like... What is that? Do we have the original video? I'm wondering what she said.
What was you talking about then? It don't matter. A third world country. That's the
Listen, Mom, sir.
Wait, what are we talking about here? What does she mean when she says a third world country?
If I told you that a woman was sexually assaulted on a train and there were several bystanders who filmed and watched with none intervening, you would probably think I'm talking about a third world country.
Okay.
But that is not the case. I'm talking about here in... If I told...
Okay, listen. Why would... listen, I'm not going to pretend that I'm super offended by that. But, like... you get the energy you give out into the world, Aunt Karen. People are going to go after you on that because you always go after people on everything else that they say. But then why would you say that? Why would you say that? Why would you be like, I thought this was a sophisticated country without any dirty people. But look, it's happening here too. I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay. You probably shouldn't have said that. You probably could have got the communicate. You probably could have communicated your shit without, shaming third world countries. Though, countries that are third world, there are different standards. It probably, maybe this, I don't know if this would happen in a third world country. I don't really know. You know what I mean? I know that we have a much better, generally in Western countries, we'll say first world countries with more access to money and whatnot, safety and security, but higher qualities of life because of that. Colonialism, you know what I'm saying? We tend to have better laws on sexual assault and whatnot and better attitudes, in my opinion. But I don't know why she needed to make the relation to the third world country. So, but okay.
Third world countries.
This is Putchuon, my YouTube channel dedicated to making you think about things differently. So in this video, I'm going to put you on Aunt Karen, the most hated black creator on TikTok.
Oh man, I remember this video. This was so bad. Look at this guy. This is so bad. He puts on blackface and he pretends to be one of like the young black girls that react to the TikTok. Be like, "Mommy, it's just like me." That one was so bad. I don't know why he would do that. That one's you could call that one out. I feel like she's a self-proclaimed otaku. Naruto, a social justice warrior. Okay. What is an otaku? It's just an Asian, right? In Japanese, a young person who is obsessed with computers or particular aspects of popular culture to the detriment of their social skills. In America, we call that someone who is autistic. Sorry, that was a joke. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's continue the video. I'm an otaku when I do that. You know, the guys on TikTok. All right, let's move on. Put that out. Editor, remove that from the video. I don't have an editor.
It all starts with a simple premise. The Ku Klux Klan decided to wear hoods and masks so that they can hide their true identity as they perform some of the most vile acts in American history. So let me ask you this. If you knew the true identity of a Klan member, would you out them publicly? Meaning, would you purposefully let everyone know that the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan was not only your neighbor, but also the local sheriff?
Probably. Yeah, definitely. I would do that. For sure.
And if you knew this, I'm assuming you'd want the local sheriff to be fired immediately, right?
Yeah.
You see, if you agree with this ideology, then you should technically be a follower of Aunt Karen, because her and her followers believe that the best way to combat racism and racist acts is to expose the people performing them. And
well, okay. So for me, if you there's a difference between somebody being like a huge, like a KKK member, especially in a position of power like a police officer, than somebody who might have said something racially insensitive. You know what I mean? It depends on how, like, what level it is. You know what I mean? But yeah, okay.
They believe that today's version of the KKK...
Because not just white people say racially insensitive things. Like, let's be honest here. Like, let's not pretend, you know. Let's not be too fucking woke to understand that, like, everybody's kind of racist, okay? If you've ever worked with actual people in the real world, you know, especially... I used to work with mechanics, bro. Wild motherfuckers. You know, it's crazy, okay? It is crazy.
Hood is really anonymous social media posts of racist acts. For example, let's say one day you decided to make a TikTok with a little dark humor poking fun at racial stereotypes to your 16 followers on an anonymous account. But you're careful. You not only make sure that your face and name are nowhere on the post, but you also created a brand new TikTok just to make this joke.
Wow, they really did a lot to make sure nobody knew.
I really don't understand what the big deal is. It's
you stupid bitch. Why would you do that?
Not even that hard.
So
why would you do that? Oh my god. But why would she make that video, bro? Why would she make that video, bro? Oh. That makes it even worse to me. Wait, she made a whole new account with a new name to not be linked to anything just so that she can make the joke touching cotton going, it's not that difficult. Damn. That's Jesus, she really wanted to be that goddamn racist. Let me just tell you, sometimes white people will go that extra mile just to say some out-of-pocket shit, brother. It is that's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. Why would you do that? You stupid fuck. Holy shit. Oh my god.
You post it and move on
Jesus
with your day.
Christ.
Then 3 days later, your boss calls you into the office and decides to let you go due to their ethical policy of misconduct. And they cite that little video that you posted as reference.
How did they find
how did
out?
this happen? Well, it's because Aunt Karen was eventually tagged in the video, and her 1.7 million followers cracked the case and found out exactly who you are, your name, address, and where you work.
That seems a little disproportionate to go after that person and completely cancel him.
Then they flood your job with emails and phone calls imploring them to fire you or their...
Here, I don't know, man. Like, that was wrong what that person did, and I think that's shitty and racist. And, like, if they're, you know... But I feel like if you can't... It just... People are so shitty and, like, everybody's racist. I feel like, why? Like, that's not a remarkable case of, like, racism to a point where I'd say that somebody should lose their job. You know what I mean? They're going around calling black people the N-word, then yeah, for sure. That edgy joke, I wouldn't say so. Because, like, what's the outcome? That person gets fired for that, and then now they start to hate black people. Because they're like, oh, wow, these black people just got me canceled for a joke. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I feel like that's a little too far. I think that's a little too far.
Boycott, and of course your job immediately complies. Now the reason why this is a big deal is because this very act of exposing racists can easily be called doxing, which is one of the worst things you can do to someone on the internet. And it's this moral gray area that caused millions of people to hate on Karen's platform, because it's fighting one bad act with what some people would consider a worse one. So over a few months, Aunt Karen doxed and exposed hundreds of alleged racists and homophobes, leading to dozens of people being banned,
hundreds of based people,
kicked out of school, lose their jobs, and sometimes even be arrested. For example,
well, if they get arrested, then it probably was a reasonable dox, you know?
She peaked when she decided to publicly out another creator named Only JS for racial acts in her past, causing Only JS to lose thousands of dollars in endorsements.
Well, she didn't really. Okay, let's not contribute a lot of this to Only JS, or excuse me, to Aunt Karen. Aunt Karen did not really like expose this person, right?
Racial acts peaked when she decided to publicly out another.
She didn't really out. I would consider that exposed. It was somebody else came forward. So I know exactly what happened because I was literally in this controversy, and I was one of the 2 people that this information got pushed to and then leaked out to. I was one of them, and the other one was this person named Freak the Gemini from TikTok. I'm going to show you his TikTok really quick, just so that, you know, the quick shout out. Right? So what had happened is Only JS made some specific commentary about like the whole kill all men narrative, and people were upset with it and they disagree with that. Because of that, some person that had an interaction with Only JS like 5 or 6 years prior to the situation decided to expose her for calling them the N-word lover, right? Aunt Karen was just somebody who decided to cover the topic. Like as a lot of people did, right? So they came forward, they show us the messages. I remember questioning it, like, how come your side of the messages are deleted? And they were like, oh, I don't know, because, you know. And then that kind of whole thing blew up, and then, you know, we talked about it, spiraled. She did a bad job at like monitoring it. She should have like instantly apologized, but she waited 3 days. She gave like a performative apology, said she was reading a book about how black people are actual people, some dumb bullshit like that. Instead of just being like, guys, I fucked up. This was 6 years ago. I was an asshole. I even talked to her on the phone. I was like, yo, you should just like be honest. Just be like, yo, I'm a white person. I was young. I didn't really understand what I was saying. I thought it was just an edgy word. I said to another white person I was being a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, I fucked up. Said she waited 3 days. She gave like a dishonest apology. She said that she would promote black creators and she would give them a platform to do their thing. And she just didn't do that. And Aunt Karen was one of the ones that she was supposed to do it for. That's what happened. And to be honest with you, like, a lot of like, I remember like other black content creators, their biggest criticism was that it took her so long to apologize. They're like, this is shitty what you did, but you took so long to apologize. It comes off so performative. Like, I remember I Speak being like very, considering the circumstances, very lenient on what she did. I was like, damn, she kind of got away. Like, she lost her sponsorships, but like socially, you know, she just needed to apologize sooner, you know? So, yeah.
Creator named Only JS for racial acts in her past, causing Only JS to lose thousands of dollars in endorsements and making her post an angry video towards Aunt Karen talking about it.
Forgot to respond to an email from this creator that wanted.
And it wasn't a forget. It was like it was like 3 weeks. She just wasn't paying attention. She was blaming her mental health for why she didn't listen to respond to the email from Aunt Karen, even though it was like weeks.
Collab with me, and you know, instead of just like hitting me up again, they made 7 fucking videos.
And Aunt Karen did hit her up again like multiple times, and JS just kept putting it off, saying, oops, I forgot. Oh, I don't have the time. Oh, my 88. Like, it was a bunch of bullshit. This is a victim complex bullshit from JS in this situation.
About it! Can you please leave me the fuck alone?
And now she's just kind of playing like this like victimhood game where it's like, well, now I'm not gonna collab with you because you're being so annoying. Like, it's a very like childish, like shitty game for people to play, where they're like, they never intend to do the thing in the first place, and then after you're like, hey, can you please do the thing you promised? You're like, oh, well, now that you're bothering me about it, I'm not gonna do the thing that I promised. You know what I mean? It's like, it's your fault for that you not doing the right thing. You know what I mean? It's your fault for them not doing the right thing, rather, right?
Aunt Karen went viral again when she decided to dox this young man who made a racially insensitive joke about the
Why'd she dox him?
new Little Mermaid reaction videos, leading this young man to be expelled and his sister, who's a working actor, to lose roles and opportunities as well.
Ew, what the fuck? Why? Like, why such a disproportionate response?
Causing the sister to plead with Aunt Karen to stop the onslaught from her army, to which Aunt Karen never did. So Aunt Karen's platform grew faster under this premise, being TikTok's biggest social justice warrior that exposes bigotry. That is, one day until
that was a very,
she was tagged in a video about another creator named Modern Warrior.
Okay, so just really quick, because some of this information in this video is like a little out of like, it's a little out of order. This situation here with the racist blackface guy, this was like a month ago. This was like a month or 2 ago. So the Modern Warrior thing happened like last year. So a little bit of this is out of context. So what he's trying to say is that Aunt Karen has propped herself up to be this cancel culturite that acts incredibly morally virtuous, and she holds everybody else to a massively high standard. And what he's trying to suggest is that she doesn't hold herself to standard, because we're going to now move on to this part where Aunt Karen, like, you know, is going to probably mishandle this in some capacity. He's not wrong, in my opinion, from what I've seen about Aunt Karen. It's just that, like, the order of information makes it come off as inaccurate. But this whole, like, blackface, like, Little Mermaid guy, that comes way after the Modern Warrior. There's probably other better examples to precede that. But I understand what he's trying to say. Just saying it's a little bit out of order here, but it's still solid.
Who was accused of sexually assaulting multiple women.
You felt entitled to my body because I trusted you.
Assaulting in a video about another creator named Modern Warrior, who was accused of sexually assaulting multiple women.
He was never accused of sexually assaulting anybody. That's a pretty big misstep. That's a pretty big misstep. The way that the girl on the right, the way that she told the story about Lance made it seem carried with the energy that she was sexually assaulted, but that was never the claim. The girl on the left's actually was very honest. Both of these two girls had an interaction with Modern Warrior, where Modern Warrior told them both that he was single and only dating them. And so he fuckboyed them, and then he fucked them without condoms under the idea that they were that he wasn't messing around with anybody else, right? What he did was shitty. It wasn't sexual assault. It was like fuckboy bullshit. And especially considering Modern Warrior he pretends to be this male feminist, it is additionally disrespectful, right? Because, like, he's basically being a male feminist, so that he's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. But it wasn't a sexual assault allegation. I just want to be explicitly clear. But the girl on the right did make it seem like it was one, based on the way that she's talked about the topic.
You felt entitled to my body because I trusted you. You felt entitled to my body because I publicly supported you. You violated my trust.
So Aunt Karen sprang into action and began to accuse him as well and spread the rumors of his allegations. Only for Modern...
Wait, who the fuck is this?
You violated my trust.
So Aunt Karen sprang into action and began to accuse him as well and spread the rumors.
Well, these are different indigenous people. These aren't Modern Warrior. Why did you show these people?
Spread the rumors of his allegations.
Who the fuck is... Why is this guy... This isn't Modern Warrior. Does this guy think this is Modern Warrior? Like, what are you doing here? What is this?
Only for Modern Warrior to be found completely innocent of the accusations a few days later, to which Aunt Karen received true backlash from her own community.
So really quick, this girl here was before the Modern Warrior essay with the allegations, just letting you know that because you got that wrong. This was a different girl that Modern Warrior would criticize because she was conservative, but then tried to slide into the DMs and hit on. That was what this controversy was about, and this happened beforehand. Right, so keeping that in mind. Also, I don't remember the specifics, but I think that the actual controversy was that Aunt Karen didn't cover the Modern Warrior situation when she was supposed to, and people were calling her out for not talking about it. I think that was the real issue. It wasn't that Aunt Karen tried to expose it, because you didn't even show a TikTok of Aunt Karen even speaking on the situation. I think that was what it was. I could be wrong about that, but I don't remember.
And was forced to give an apology herself.
I'm not making excuses. I'm just acknowledging that I was wrong.
Oh, maybe she did, I guess.
And
okay,
that
maybe I'm wrong.
I definitely wish I never got my foot into the door of this mess.
Okay, then maybe I wish I could see her original TikTok, but it probably isn't available, which is why he didn't show it. Maybe she tried to make it seem like an essay allegation, and that was what she apologized for. Because if you actually looked into it without being an absolute dumb fuck, moral arbiter, pretend babyface, internet fucking principal, you would have been like, yeah, this is just like a fuckboy situation. It's shitty, but like he didn't sexually assault anybody, so.
Fortunately for her, it won't be her last, because a few weeks ago, she made another huge mistake that caused thousands of followers to turn in an apparent act of consolidation with the women of Iran. And
Raggy. Am I a good Scooby-Doo? They got rid of him from the Velma series, so it doesn't matter if I'm a good Scooby-Doo.
Civil unrest going on in the country. Aunt Karen decided to cut her hair off completely, which turned out to be a huge epic fail that followers did not like. Because
wait, why did she cut her hair? What is that? How does it help people in Iran?
with the women of Iran and civil unrest going on in the country.
Why does that help them?
Karen decided to cut her hair off completely, which turned out to be a huge epic fail that followers did not like.
How come every time somebody is like losing attraction and attention, they cut their hair off? Like Dixie D'Amelio did it. You know, I'm just saying, why is that the next? Why is it's for women? That's a woman for women to do. Oh, fuck, I need attention. Let me pretend to have a mental breakdown or something, or to cut my hair for some reason in a performative way. Oh shit. Oh fuck, Papa got bald too. He's doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck's with the play? It seems like a weird play. Weird play to make.
Because it was now Aunt Karen doing exactly what she accuses so many racists of doing, which was centering herself in the story of someone else's oppression. Thus, she decided to give another apology video for this misstep.
So my apologies that that I didn't do what you feel is the right way to support.
But that isn't the last of her recent mistakes. She's also been widely criticized by her audience for her use of the word third world countries. Then, when she was informed about her snafu, she decided to double down on her statement.
Obvious that that's not what was said, then you, well, what country was you talking about then? It don't matter. A third world country. That's the country I was talking about.
Like, not for nothing, but like this, everything Aunt Karen's doing right now is like not really that big of a deal, to be absolutely honest with you. Like, the third world country thing is insensitive. You probably shouldn't be comparing to third world countries. Like, yeah, that sounds like kind of shitty. I mean, it gets rid of all the context of, like, you know, different forms of oppression, especially from first world countries. And why is the word escaping me? Colonialism from Western countries that will, like, you know, siphon resources from these other countries and, like, take advantage of them and this, right? So you'd think that, and that's where the issue comes from, is that Aunt Karen is not only very morally virtuous and like unforgiving when it comes to other people's mistakes, but she also kind of pretends to understand like the depths of social narratives, right? So like, that's why it's like, what the fuck? That's where it comes from. It's like she's getting the disproportionate energy that she gives off to other people. And this is why you need to not, like, dude, it makes sense to call people out, but that's why I try not to be like super over fucking like, and like cum my pants and shit and fart every single time somebody makes a mistake, because, like, you know what I mean, everybody fucks up, you know, and most people are trying to act in like a nice way. And when you kind of operate in the world as if everybody's trying to operate in the least the most disingenuous way intentionally, you know, when you bad faith their intentions, that's where things go awry, you know.
Whichever third one you can think of.
Which upset a large...
I can only think of 3 countries.
...of international followers due to her insensitivity towards other countries. Then her hate hit an all-time high when she...
Oh, this happened before, what I think, but this... this one was funny. This white dude was like, I went to 50 states and I dated one girl from every state, and they all happen to be white. Because he likes white girl. I mean, it's his preference. Who cares? As long as you're not racist about your preference, who cares? And she was like, oh, there's not enough milk chocolate or something, she said. I don't remember what the fuck she said. There's not enough mango, mocha. I don't remember. She said something like that, I think. I don't remember. And people are like, why are you shitting on him for just having a fucking preference?
He drew criticisms from Nicki Minaj because Aunt Karen had created a post to which she criticizes another creator for going on 50 dates in 50 states with 50 women, but her main critique being that he only dated white women.
And one of the girls from Hawaii was actually born in New York, so it was even worse.
Yeah. Oh shit, this is where Nicki Minaj fucking owns Aunt Karen?
To which Nicki Minaj responded with the following post.
Yo, could you imagine waking up, looking in the mirror, realizing you're a black queen, and going on TikTok to concern yourself with a white man dating white women in different states with his own fucking money? Are y'all not fucking tired of looking this insecure? This is the equivalent to a Karen, and using terms like, what you not gonna do to pander to black queens is so fucking ill. Like, this only makes these women feel like y'all are jealous and fucking obsessed with them, which further boosts their self-esteem. I'm gonna give this woman of the day award on the next Queen Radio, cause child, enough is enough. What you not gonna do, girl, gone.
This caused the black community to look further into the...
Get the fuck out of here. There's no way. She fucking owned her. He actually called her out. This happened like about a month ago, apparently. Wow. That's fucking nuts. That's crazy. Damn. She really gave her she gave her the old Nene Poggers. She owned her. Wow.
Has made a show of
That's incredible. Wow. That's fucking nutty, dude. I'm super surprised that actually happened. Wow. Incredible. I can't believe that. That's very funny. Imagine like your first, as like a famous TikToker, your first like exposure to the mainstream media is getting fucking dunked on by fucking Nicki Minaj. That's nuts. That's fucking nuts. Holy shit. I'm just like looking at it right now. Wow, incredible.
Personal life of Aunt Karen, only to discover that Aunt Karen is actually dating a white man, resulting in her losing a lot of credibility in the black community, despite all of the social justice work that she had done. Because now there's a large portion of the black community that believes she is overly occupied with the personal dating choices of white men, which they believe should not be her concern. So as the black community went through more and more of her posts, they began to find dozens of posts to which she criticizes black men relentlessly for their dating choices and only criticizes white men for never choosing to date black women in the first.
Well, this one, a good man should never chase a woman. Listen, I don't know the specifics here. I'm assuming Aunt Karen is criticizing him because he's probably some manosphere fucking like bullshit artist. I could be wrong about that, but like the only people I've heard that say a good man should never chase a woman. Okay, so fundamentally, you can make an argument. It's like, if you're a good guy, you shouldn't have to like go above and beyond for a woman in this way if she's not going to return it. That could be what he's talking about. I could be wrong. More likely, when I see rhetoric like this, it's usually like, oh, you don't have to give a fuck about women, make them come to you. Like, you're high value, they're low value, they only have like their body, blah, blah, blah. I could be wrong. I'm just saying. This may not be like the best representation of what they're saying, but okay.
Place. In essence, she criticizes people's personal preferences of dating. This criticism led Aunt Karen to respond, explaining her position that black men never found her attractive.
I realize that I am not what most black men find attractive, and here's how. Social media. When I look at shows like this, what's promoted, these are women who are not like me at all. I don't see myself. I see a lot of women with BBLs, allegedly, and nothing that I have.
And she also addresses the fact that she does have a black daughter.
What a stupid, dumb fucking thing to say.
Myself, women who media, when black men find attractive. And here's how. Social media.
Okay, so what she's saying is that she explicitly says that black men have never found her attractive, and the reason she feels that way is specifically because of social media. Now, fundamentally, the women that are on social media are are considered like super attractive and out of everybody's league. This is a bullshit excuse. She just likes white guys, but she won't own it. She wants to blame the system for it. That's not going to make you bro. If she had said, this would make more sense. Yeah, when I was growing up, the other black men, because this is something that I've heard from. So I had like a black follower of mine. They said this. They're like, growing up, I had a lighter skinned cousin, I think it was, and all the boys liked her more, and they would make fun of me for being too black. So that's like why I struggle with black men. That would make sense if that was her life experience. But her life experiences, I saw Instagram posts. It sounds like you never even tried dating black guys. So there's no way that you have. This is you telling us that it's from fucking social media. Have you tried dating black guys? Probably. If you had said, yeah, I dated black guys, but some of them didn't really find me attractive because I was, for whatever reason, that she could have said. But she didn't even give us a good argument. She just said that it was, social media is. Hey, well, social media is that happen. There's no personal life experience with this particular situation. Anybody can make an argument when it comes to like social media. Like women can be like, yeah, we understand that there are beauty standards that are set by social media, but it doesn't. You didn't even cite an anecdote about trying to date black men. You just said social media caused this. So there's really nothing here. You're not really. It doesn't. It just sounds like she likes white guys, and there's nothing wrong with that. And like she's just coming up with an excuse because she has a preference, which is ironic because she was shitting on that other guy for having a preference. So I doubt she would have a problem dating a black guy. Someone said that's BS. There's so many nerdy black men. She should just say she likes white men. Yeah, yeah, true. It looks like a black content creator said that, guys. It's okay if I repeat it. No, but seriously, she's a fucking nerd. There's plenty of nerdy black guys that'll be like, yeah, I'm all over that shit. You know what I mean? She's not bad looking. She's not even like unattractive. That's the thing. I doubt that she would have struggled to date black guys. She probably just didn't want to date black guys. It's like she's making fucking excuses about it. It's fucking weird. Play, motherfucker.
And she also addresses the fact that she does have a black daughter with a black father.
My daughter is black. She has a black father and obviously a black mother. But it's interesting to me.
Wait, it's not. Oh, so then you tried dating black guys. You've had a kid with one, and it just didn't work out. And you got divorced. Or maybe she just doesn't care about skin color. Maybe she's colorblind. I don't know. But why the weird argument that she's making? Like, why? Like, so weird. Okay.
Me, how so many black men like you always want to question my blackness. Feels like black men like you hate to see a successful black woman with a
very successful black woman.
White man.
But she feels that her relationships with black men were never successful, so she chooses to date a white man. In essence,
well, that's fine, but that's not even what she said. Unless there was more that you didn't show us. That's the whitest guy ever. That guy he's a truck driver. He looks like he drives a Ford F-150. That is a white man. That's not even just like a guy that happens to be white. That's a white man, brother. That's me. I'm a white guy. I look like a fucking truck driver. Okay. That's a white guy. He looks like he flies the Confederate flag. I'm just saying, dude. That's a pure-blooded white man. And that's her thing. That's fine. It's okay to like white people. Okay.
She comes on her platform to explain her personal preferences of dating, which furthers bolsters the point that Nicki Minaj made, and thus the black community began to cancel Aunt Karen. So now Aunt Karen is hated by the segments of the following groups: white conservatives, Iranian women, indigenous people, international people from impoverished nations, and the black community.
Well, but to the fourth one, international people from impoverished nations, they can't afford a phone anyway. It's not like they can see what she's saying. That's funny jokes. I'm a funny guy. Laugh for me, guys. Laugh at my dad humor.
In America. And I'm sure if she keeps her platform going as it has, she'll continue to add to those groups. But hey, being hated never bothered Aunt Karen. In fact, it's what got her 2 million followers in the first place.
Well, that's only
so
1.
What do you think about
You keep saying it's 2 million.
Aunt Karen, do you think she deserves to be hated? Let me know in the comments below.
Personally, I just don't give a fuck about her. So. All right, this is just credits for 2 minutes. Written and directed by C.J. Mitchell, narrated by C.J. Mitchell, music by C.J. Mitchell and Julian Nixon, edited by C.J. Mitchell and Hamila V. Okay, there's some TikToks in there. The outro. This is a girl grabbing at her cooter in the middle. Interesting. Okay. Personally, there's nothing wrong with a little credits reel at the end. Like this 30 seconds is fine, but if you put too long of credits at the end, people are going to skip through it and not really watch it, and it's going to hurt the algorithm a little bit. All right, guys, that was pretty good. Everyone, thank you so much for watching, and a special shout out to all my Patreon patrons, my YouTube members, and my Twitch subs. If you'd like to learn how you can contribute even more than you already are by simply watching the video, you can check the links down below, which will unlock a special feature depending on the platform that you subscribe to, such as Patreon here that will get your name right here on this wall. Thank you so much, guys, again for watching, and have a good one.